Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to show you how to take this 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch square piece of wood and turn it into
these beautiful DIY towel hooks.
Alright, so this project is incredibly simple. There's a few things you're going to need. The first thing is obviously a saw, and you could use a smaller handheld saw like this. This is what I'm using, a circular saw, or even go old school and do an old-fashioned hand saw. We chose to go with the 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch piece of wood, so both sides it's completely square. You could do 2 inches if you want to. A few other things you're going to need is just something to sand it down with, so sandpaper of some sorts, straight edge, and a pencil, which I think is inside. And then to actually connect it to the wall, what we're going to use are wall studs, what we're going to use are wall anchors, drywall anchors. And then we went with the dowel screws. So basically these are two-sided screws. And as you can see right there, it's kind of like a double-bladed lightsaber, right? You got your little handle right here in the middle, and then both sides of the screws are screws. So I'll show you how to do that later. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we wanna mark a 45-degree angle on either end of this piece of wood. And it doesn't matter what side, it's all even. It's 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch, so just pick your side and then try to make a nice, clean, straight 45-degree angle mark. Don't forget your safety glasses. And then the next thing, just cut on that 45-degree angle. I would recommend a table saw or a miter saw, something that's gonna give you a really good clean cut. But if you don't have that, you know, a circular handsaw would be fine, or even something like this. I had to go back and clean it up with my handsaw because it was pretty imperfect, but we'll fix that later. The next thing we want to do is we want to cut off this piece from the rest of the wood, and so I'm going to mark 3 inches in from the bottom. So as you see, the bottom piece of the 45-degree angle, and then I just mark 3 inches in, draw my line, and then we're just going to make our cut here. And there we go. There's the first one. Now we're just going to repeat the same steps, draw that 45-degree angle, make the cut, and then measure in 3 inches from the bottom, and then we'll make that cut as well. And there we go. 2 happy little pieces of wood that are cut well. The next thing we want to do is I'm going to sand it. I'm going to use my electric sander just to give to smooth out some of those imperfections of where the handsaw did not cut it well. And then I'll use a little hand sander as well. What I don't want to do, for me personally, I don't want to sand over the edges to make them smooth. I want a very rigid, straight finish over the top and the bottom. I've got 2 different finishes here. I've got a dark walnut and then a little bit more of a lighter Provincial finish. I'm going to start with the Provincial because I don't know how dark I want it, and if I do want it darker, because this one's a lighter one, I'll just add the walnut over top of that. Alright, so it's been about 24 hours since we stained those pieces of wood, so they should be completely dry by now, and they are. So the next step is installing them into the wall. Now, we're not going to try to find the studs, we're just going to go straight into the drywall using wall anchors. And so that's going to be the next part, is putting those into the wall. But we first need to figure out where we want to put them, like, got to level it out, how far apart. This is right next to the shower. And I think this is where we're gonna want to put them. So I'm thinking one about right here, and then maybe one right there next to it, not too far over, and then also not too far to where when you open the door it's gonna hit it or anything like that, because you want to make sure that it's not gonna hit the door. So Jess has a different idea. Instead of putting them next to each other like this, we're thinking one lower and then one a little bit higher to offset.
Not quite too, like, see how like that looks right there?
Okay.
Not quite too high, not quite too low. Because if we had them right here, we would need a third one. If we had 3, we could do them in an even line. But since we don't have 3, we need to do them.
She's smart. All right, so this is what we're thinking for the first one, and then maybe the second one right up there. Probably like right there is where that first screw is gonna go. All right, for these wall anchors, no drilling is required. So you just put your drywall anchor right there. Then what we'll do is we've got our dowel screws here and screw it in there like that. And actually what I think I'm gonna do, probably what we're gonna have to do is get a pair of pliers and twist this in. Get you a pair of pliers that clamp and lock just like that, just so you can get a really good grip. I think our wall anchor is a bit too small. All right, so DIY projects are trial and error. So I had to run to Lowe's real quick to find a different dowel screw because this one was just too thick for that. It was definitely not going in. And this is 1/4 of an inch thick. And then this one is 3/16. This one is 3/16. So as you can tell, just a little bit smaller in width, so it should work, but it's shorter in length. This one is 2.5 inches in length, and this one is only 2 inches, but I think we're gonna be fine. So let's just see. The next step is gonna be to drill a pilot hole into this section right here. So all you do, you don't want to do it at an angle like that. You just want to go straight in. And we'll put it on this joker. All right. There we go. Ooh, that's not good. Babe, we got a problem. All right, so stopping the video right there. It's another day now. I messed up on that part. As you probably saw, the drywall anchor went a little too far into the drywall. Probably shouldn't have screwed it in that far. So what we had to do is get a little patch and patch over that hole. It made a big mess. But DIY, it's trial and error, and so you just learn from your mistakes. So we repatched it and then put more of the joint compound on here. We've got it fixed, but what I'm gonna have to do, I think it's about right in here. I'm gonna have to just move it up a little bit to do it again. But I've practiced on a spare piece of drywall that we had, and I think I've got what I wanna do here, and I got the method down right, I guess, because using these dowel screws are a bit complicated as opposed to just using like a regular screw that you can just screw into the drywall anchor. So I'm going to show you what I did here, and hopefully it works this time. We don't make another big mess. So the first thing I'm going to do is drill a small pilot hole straight into here, just itty bitty, just like that, just enough to get it started. This time I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm just going to get it started, through the rest of it in. I'm gonna take it about right there instead of going all the way in, because what I did is I ended up going through the drywall on that last take. And then the next thing is just to take your dowel screw. I'm gonna try to get it in there by hand first. And that's about as far as I can get it. Let it lock, and then we're just gonna twist. You'll see that wall anchor is gonna move just a little bit, but that's okay. And that wall anchor isn't going anywhere now. Okay, good. Just like that. That's how you do it. And yesterday I already drilled a hole into this one, so it should just slip right on there. Just screw it in there. Go around one more time. There we go. Bingo. And then I'm gonna level it, because I'm like that. And that's level. And then we'll just do the exact same thing she said right there. So it's gonna be about right there. You know, that's gonna look pretty dope. And that's pretty secure. At least enough to hold a towel, right? Thanks so much for checking out this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, let us know in the comments below. Like this video as well, and if you want to see more just like it in the future, we plan on making more things, coming up with more ideas to share some of our own DIY projects around our house. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Knocked it out of the park.
Great job.
Lifesaver.